Hello, you guys. Welcome back to Channel Claire. Now, it seems as if Harry is over across the pond and he is back in court. And I often wonder, I'm like, do people ever get sick of walking up in courthouses? Like, especially people like Janelle Evans, which I haven't done a video on her in a minute, but I think it's going to be coming. Sidebar. But he is in court, and it's very interesting the wording that he's used in his statement, okay? So he's in court because the royal family, the firm, the establishment feels as if they should not be paying for security for Harry and Meghan because they are no longer within the folds of the royal family, okay? So they feel as if the money for security, which is very costly, very, very costly, they have to pay for it themselves. Like Mary and Meghan. I love when I put their names together. Harry and Meghan. Like, that's a lot. That's expensive as fuck for like 24-hour security, which I'm pretty sure is what they have. Because even at home, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, they want security when they're in the UK, which is what this is all about. But I'm thinking about even with them being like at home. Do they have security standing out front of their gate? Like, do they have security inside the gate? Do they have security walking the perimeter? Because they are very high profile, and we know that media loves to talk about them. So people may be staking out in trees and shit, trying to get through a fence, trying to part a bush to try to figure out what the hell is going on in the Montecito compound. It's just scary. And then they go over to the UK, when and if they do go over to the UK, they of course have to get security, and you would think their family would cover that because, they still are family. But no, because they are no longer senior working royals, the royal family feels as if they should not pay for security for Harry and Meghan and their family as a whole. I don't know how I feel. I feel like, here I am again, I feel both sides on it. Like, I can kind of get where they're like, okay, you're not a working royal anymore, so we're not going to give you like elite priority security. I feel like they could give them something like a step down, because at the end of the day, they still are family. Like, are you disowning Harry? Is that what it is? Like, is it a disownment? That, like, he's still your child, right? Charles, like, King Charles, like, Harry is still your child. Or have you disowned Harry, your youngest, and his family? Because I don't understand why. Yes, I understand that they are no longer working royals, but at the end of the day, he's still your son. And you know that him coming into the UK, he has a family and 2 young children. Would you not want them to be safe? It's like a punishment thing. It really is a punishment thing. They're like, we're not going to fucking pay for it. We're not going to fucking pay for it. And I get it, but it's like, it is a disownment. It's a disownment for sure. And I was reading this one article. I've been hearing quite a few little whispers about how William is so ready to be king because he has a plan, and he has a plan that's going to really come for Harry and Meghan. What? So as soon as he gets on the throne, he's going to snatch their fucking titles away? That's going to be real petty boots on you, William. That's going to really show how fucking petty, and all this time you have just been gritting your teeth, waiting to snatch them titles away because you feel petty as fucking hell. You know what? William probably feels a hell of a lot more, like, he's probably more pissed than Charles is about this whole situation. Charles probably don't give a fuck. He's on his little country estate out in the hills, doing his hunting, doing his whatever the fuck, having his tea and crumpets, getting his shoelaces ironed, and, he's really trying to ride this out real easy. He's not trying to do too much work, have too much stress, create too much conflict. He's checked out. So William feels like, he's going to get in there and decide he's just going to snatch titles. It's going to make you look petty as fuck, William. Like, you've been sitting back this whole time just waiting for the moment that you can snatch your brother and his wife's titles because you're mad. It's going to show how upset and mad you are. Do you really want that for your reign? Start planning what it is that you're going to do to help your commonwealth. You know what I mean? Because we're all having the same struggling issues where homelessness, people don't get food, everything's high as hell because of inflation. Focus on that. Mental health, oh, but don't focus on mental health because you guys literally didn't give a fuck when Megan was going through her mental health issues. So I kind of find it ironic and contradictory when you want to be making mental health one of your focuses. Don't do it. Don't do it, because you could have lended a hand to someone who needed your help with their mental health and you turned your head and said nothing. So yeah, stick with the young girls and helping them, get jobs and everything like that. Stick with homelessness, stick with, food and hunger. Stick with those things because we really do need help on that. You, William, Kate, y'all don't need to do anything with mental health. I don't want to see you at a mental health event. I don't want to see a post for Mental Health Day. I don't want to see any of that shit. I really don't. But as far as this security thing, I feel both ways. I see that they aren't working royals, so the royal family does not want to pay for it out of their pocket. But I also feel like, what would be, y'all got money upon money. It is literally a never-ending, just like, you're not going to run out of money. The royal family's not going to run out of money. He is your son, Charles. Why wouldn't you want him to be protected? And for Meghan, you want to make it hard? What is it what is the strategy? You want to make it hard so that he feels like he has to come back because he's not going to be able to pay for his security? And then if something happens, this is the thing. Like, y'all are always behind the fucking ball of shit. Always behind the ball. Always behind the ball. But I just feel like so many things that have happened with this whole scenario, and even with Diana, that could have been avoided if the royal family took action. I just feel like there's a whole bunch of him and hawing in inaction and fucking complaining and not doing anything to rectify situations and or prevent situations from even happening. Like, what are y'all doing? So I guess in court, Prince Harry says that the security battle, that UK is his home and he was so forced to leave. So he is saying that he feels as if the UK is still his home, but he felt like he was forced to leave. And I'm guessing that's because the royal family wasn't doing shit to help them out when they asked. Duke of Sussex statement given to the High Court amid challenge to Home Office over changes to his personal protection when in the UK. Prince Harry has said the UK is his home and he and Meghan felt forced to step back. Why did it do that? Forced to step back from frontline royal duties and leave the country for the US. In a written witness statement prepared by his legal challenge against the Home Office at the High Court for a change to his security arrangement when visiting, the Duke of Sussex said that he and his wife felt they had to leave the country in 2020. At a hearing in London on Thursday, the Duke's barrister, Shahid Fatima, said Harry did not accept that it was a choice for him to have stopped being a full-time working royal of the royal family. So the Duke's barrister says Harry is not accepting that it was a choice for him to leave. He is saying they had to. The state of the way things were, and I guess the state of the way Meghan was, they had to leave. There was no choice. He's saying the UK is still my home, but because of everything else that was fucking going on and they weren't getting the fucking assistance with, they had to leave. So that's what they're saying. Harry did not accept that it was a choice for him to have to. Okay, so the lawyer read out an excerpt from the Duke's statement, in which he said, "It was with great sadness, for both of us, that my wife and I felt the force to step back from this role and leave the country in 2020." I wonder if they're feeling a type. Are you having regrets, Harry? Because this is the first time I'm hearing that they felt forced, kind of. That's interesting wording. And him saying like the UK was his home, you know what I mean? The UK is my home. The UK is central to the heritage of my children and a place I want them to feel at home as much as if they were to live in this moment in the US. Okay, so the UK is my home. The UK is central to the heritage of my children and a place I want them to feel at home as much as where they live at the moment in the US. That cannot happen if it is not possible to keep them safe when they are on UK soil. So this is my thing also with the kids. Are the senior royals, dang old Charles, Camilla, Kate, William, do they interact with the children at all? Do they send birthday gifts? Do they send a little card? Do they do any of that? I think I heard that for the king's birthday, Meghan sent a recording of the kids saying happy birthday, like, for the king. But, like, do they do anything for birthday, for Christmas coming up? Are they going to send a little package over, or do they completely ignore them? Like they don't fucking exist. That I would love to fucking know. But it seems as if Harry is saying, look, the UK is central heritage to my children. You know? Ooh, let me see. Sorry about that. But yeah, it seems as if, obviously, his heritage is important to him. And he wants his children to know that side of him and go on UK soil and be able to be safe. Would you not want that for your grandchildren, King Charles? You know, would you not want that for your grandkids? Like, is this the legacy that you want to leave, that you literally did nothing to help anything, and you're just gonna leave shit to your son, William, and then he's gonna come and, like, do the extra fucking most and be a freaking tyrant? Let me not say that, but he's gonna come in and he has this plan and he's gonna do this and he's gonna, like, I don't feel like this is the legacy you would want to leave, King Charles. Like, do something, bring your family back onto UK soil, into the fold, sit everybody down and have a conversation. I say that, but at this point I do feel like, you know, it's the point of no return, but that's what he should have done. This does seem as if Harry wants to at some point eventually go back to the UK and introduce that side of things to his young kids. Okay. So I cannot put my wife in danger like that, and given my experiences in life, I am reluctant to unnecessarily put myself in harm's way too. So, like, he's been in the military and everything like that. He's like, look, I'm not trying to unnecessarily put myself in harm's way. Just pay for the fucking security. Y'all are being so goddamn petty. This is why we are where we are, because y'all just want to be petty. If you would have said something when she was getting all the hate in the fucking British media and everything like that, being treated unfairly, complaining, oh, she's sending emails at 4 and 5 a.m. Oh my God, why? Because she came in there and was running circles around some of the other senior royals, and she came in there, hit the ground running, and knew what it was that she wanted to do. And y'all were so, like, shocked and fucking appalled because a woman came in with a legit perspective and an agenda, and she did not come in like, oh, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, she came in like, I got this shit, let's do this, what we about to do, let me send my emails out, because y'all didn't want to work. Okay, like, it starts with the royal family. I feel like it starts there. Have Harry and Meghan done some, questionable things along the way from then to now? Yes. But it started with the royal family. And if they tried to do anything to rectify the situation in the beginning, we would not be here. There would be no Omid Scobie Endgame book that had people named and any of that bullshit. Just track it back. And for as much people hate Meghan Markle, y'all sure did buy that book up, because it's certainly on New York Times bestseller per Omid Scobie. He posted about 3 hours ago. Beyond grateful to find out that Endgame has hit the New York Times bestseller list for both hardback and combined hardback and ebook sales. This would never have happened without those of you who bought and supported the book. So thank you. And a lot of y'all are probably haters, so thank you. Just wanted to see what I had to say. You paid. Like, it's so laughable. And this whole thing with, like, the publishing house is like, the names were in the manuscript. Okay, I am so sorry. So the names were in the Dutch manuscript. This is where I'm disconnected. I'm going to look in the comments to see if someone can explain this to me. I'm disconnected, okay? So publishing house says, okay, manuscript had 2 names in the book. Okay. So it gets to the Dutch translator, okay? They translate into English, okay? Somehow along the way, from the excerpt that I read, from the translation that I read in my other videos, my first in-game video, that Dutch translation, I had the translation from Dutch and the English, okay? From the translation, it only put Charles's name, okay? Kate was not there. So where did her name come from but from Piers Morgan? Yes, it said that there was 2 names, but we didn't know the 2 names until Piers Morgan came out and said the 2 names, whether or not it was in the Dutch manuscript or not. What was translated only came out to be Charles's name and not Kate's name. So it is Piers's fault for naming Kate. I guess people don't give a fuck about Charles, but it is Piers's fault. And I'm going to try to find that translation again. Hold on. Okay, I went all the way back in my notes. And this was posted by Rick Evers Royal. He does radio, TV, online magazines, and it looks like his bio is in Dutch. It looks like it's in a different language, but he does video, radio, TV, online magazines and stuff. So he's in this sphere. So he posted the Dutch version and then the English translation. And what I'm seeing is during their conversation with Oprah, both Harry and Meghan declined to say who was present at the conversation. A representative for the couple only wanted to say it was not the Queen or Prince Philip. I think that they would be very damaging to them, Meghan said. But in those private letters, an identity was revealed and confirmed Charles, the King. Sources say wanted to respond to make clear to Meghan that there was no ill will or bias when he spoke about his future grandson. He wanted to clarify something he felt was very important, says a royal insider. Translated from Dutch, and it says in-game in Dutch by Omid Scobie, page 128. So at what point was Kate's name brought up? But when Piers said it. So it is Piers' fault, because people could have speculated all day long until he got the fuck up on national, international TV and said, the Princess of Wales, Catherine. Like, am I losing it? Because, yes, okay, there was 2 names, but only 1 name had been said. Piers went in and let everybody know who the second name was because he felt like the British public should know because it was put in a manuscript. Okay, so it was put in a manuscript. It got taken out somewhere in the translation, and only Charles' name got put into it. So I think it's Piers's fault. But of course, because people think that Omid and Meghan were out, had a little dinner, had a tete-a-tete, was sitting there, had a little drink, had their wines, had their spritzers, and she was sitting there spilling the fucking tea to Omid and said, yeah, Kate was talking about my baby's skin color, and then he went and wrote it in a book. And so then because of that, it's all Meghan's fault. Everything's Meghan's fault. Everything's Meghan's fault. Let me know if I'm wrong, because I'm not understanding. Piers named Catherine. So, thrown right on the bus.